I have amazing news for you guys. Down goes Larry Summers. Down goes Larry Summers. Whoa, dude. What happened? Larry Summers was the top candidate for President Obama in replacing Ben Bernanke as the head of the Federal Reserve. But he has written a letter withdrawing from consideration. In the letter, he said, I have reluctantly concluded that any possible confirmation process for me would be acrimonious and would not serve the interests of the Federal Reserve, the administration, or ultimately the interests of the nation's ongoing economic recovery. Let me translate that for you. There was 4 Democratic senators on the Financial Committee in the Senate saying they're going to vote against Summers. So he would have to win over a substantial number of Republican senators, an Obama nominee. Good luck. In other words, he wasn't even going to make it out of committee. So that's why Larry Summers stepped aside, not because he cares about the Federal Reserve and the people of America and make sure they're all right. He, of course, mainly cares about the banks of America to make sure they're all right, and he literally gets paid by Citigroup at this point. For a tiny period of time, he stopped getting paid for them because it looked really bad as he was the top nominee for the Federal Reserve, and he was sending out all of his friends, assistants, minions, etc., to lobby for that job while continuing to get paid by one of the top banks that he would be regulating as the head of the Fed. So luckily, he's down and out. President Obama has accepted his letter withdrawing from the race. So obviously, we're going to be going on to greener pastures, probably a progressive, since we have a progressive president, right? What are the possible people to replace him? Saw it in 2 different articles today. Tim Geithner. Oh, for Christ's sake. Geithner and Summers are, of course, the 2 guys most responsible within the Democratic Party for the financial deregulation, for not regulating the banks at all while they took massive, gigantic risks and crashed the economy. Also, the 2 guys that President Obama loves the most, because, of course, he's not a progressive. He's got 2 issues there. One, he loves the establishment, and Geithner and Summers are, of course, the establishment's guys. But number 2, it's because he's not very good at finance. So for whatever reason, even though he's obviously an incredibly smart guy, that's a weakness for him. That's his Achilles heel. So he uses Geithner and Summers as his crutch. Now, he had already asked Geithner earlier in the process, and Geithner had said, no, I'm trying to cash in on all those years that I sucked up to the banks, all the favors I did for them. I'm trying to cash in on that right now. I don't have time to go run the Federal Reserve. I got to go make bank, literally, right? Now, apparently, Obama is trying to reach out to Geithner again, since Summers said no, saying, look, I only know 2 finance guys that I'm positive will deliver for the banks and the establishment. It's you 2. So if it's not Summers, maybe it's Geithner. Now, since he's already said no in the first place, it's unlikely to be him, we hope. So that leaves Janet Yellen. Now, President Obama has not wanted to go in that direction for whatever insane reason. She's 67 years old, has a tremendous amount of experience in this field. She was right before the crisis about the 3 different things that would happen during the crisis. She's a woman. It would be a historic appointment. I mean, it's check, check, check for a Democratic president. This should be a no-brainer. And by the way, Wall Street is not unhappy with her. In fact, they like her, what they call her consistency. And this is absolutely critical. And why they were not that happy with Summers and wanted to go in Yellen's direction anyway, Wall Street did. Because Yellen is in favor of the Federal Reserve's policy of quantitative easing. That's all the things that the Federal Reserve is doing basically to keep the stock market pumped up. So they like that. Now, why were they not rallying in Summers' defense? That's the interesting part of the story. So it turns out that Wall Street had a number of issues with him. Number 1, Larry Summers actually came out as somewhat critical towards quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is basically the Fed buying up all these bonds, etc., and pumping money into the market so that the stocks continue to be, in my opinion, overinflated, but of course in the opinion of the stock market and Wall Street, just at the right price. And so the fact that he'd shown some concern about that, they were like, whoa, Larry, we didn't pay you all those millions of dollars to have an opinion all of a sudden, which gets to the larger problem that they had with him, which was masked in terms of uncertainty, and the market does not like uncertainty. And they're saying they don't mind Yellen, even though she was right that the bank deregulation led to the problems that it did during the economic crisis. But so far, they like her position in that she agrees with Ben Bernanke on how much we should help the stock market. Now, it turns out there was uncertainty regarding Summers because he had not been very clear about his approach to monetary policy. So you know what this is? This is the John McCain problem. I remember talking to Grover Norquist once, who runs Americans for Tax Reform. He was basically the representative of the rich. And we asked him, why did your group decide in the 2000 election to fund George W. Bush over John McCain? He said, basically, they both came in. And we asked Bush, would you do anything we tell you to? And he said, yeah. And we asked John McCain. He said, no, I'm going to be the president of the United States. Of course, I'll hear you guys out, but I'm going to make my own decisions. They're like, nah, we don't like that. We're going to go with Bush over there, who says he doesn't have his own mind and will do exactly what we tell him to do. And so apparently Wall Street, even after all these decades of Larry Summers doing everything they wanted, thought, well, he does have a mind of his own, and that could be a problem. So they didn't fight for him, and now he's gone. We hope that this leads to a positive result. We hope that Janet Yellen being prescient about what went wrong before the crisis leads to her making the right decisions if she gets the appointment and then is confirmed to be the head of the Federal Reserve. Now, we hope that she doesn't continue Ben Bernanke's policies. At least I hope that, because I don't think that they've been very helpful outside of the stock market and outside of Wall Street. But it's, as far as we're concerned, unclear at this point which direction President Obama will go, and then if he does pick Yellen, which direction she'll go. But apparently, for the moment being, Wall Street is comfortable with her, and after all these years of service, ironically, they weren't as comfortable with Larry Summers.